Hello, Little Mac Bricks here. I just figured I'd take a moment to show you what I've been up to over the past little while for the city. So I started going into my train boxes because initially I had all these train sets that I had bought and I took all the tracks out of them to do my layout, and then I only built, a couple engines and a little bit of rolling stock. Well, I thought it was time to take out the rest and build the rest of the stuff. So right here we're going to start out with, these are some of the extra cranes and whatnot that came with the different sets. So right here we have a crane that could be used to lift either coal or stone, any kind of minerals, or even I don't know, gold or some sort of mining material, I would think, because we have this bucket on here. But actually it does come with the hook too, as you can see, which I thought that was pretty cool, that they had this little spot here on the side to hang the hook, so you could switch out the bucket with the hook, and that way you can grab some things that have been strapped together, whether it be like logs or steel, different such things. So I do not have the set numbers in front of me. For some reason I should have probably wrote it down so I could tell you what sets these were from, but this came with one. I like how it's set up with this little, this is for like a dump truck or something. Then we have this one, which is another sort of like mining type of thing. We have a bucket here with a conveyor belt that conveys whatever's been mined onto the rolling stock. And then we have this little catch here for the rolling stock. It has a way of tilting and dumping the coal or gravel onto here. So these ones I was considering on putting away for now until I can set up my mining in a mountain, which that's probably not going to happen on this layout. One of the big things for this year is we are going to be moving out of that room, which is kind of cramped, and into a bigger space where we'll be able to actually move around the table, and I should also have more room to do more of the stuff that I had originally planned in the beginning. So the next crane is a gantry crane, which I really liked. I think I got it. The guy sits in here. Actually, he's on a spinning chair, so if he has to look this way, he can look that way, or he can spin around, so he could look out that window, if a truck's coming from that side. So I thought that was pretty cool. I like how wide it is, because you could fit, you might be able to fit probably 2 tracks, maybe even 3, and a spot for a truck, or two spots for trucks and 2 spots for trains. But yeah, I thought this was pretty cool, having this wide gantry crane like this. The only thing I would have to say about it that I didn't like was that there was no way for the minifigure to get up here. I had to add this ladder here to get down from there to this ladder here to get down to the bottom. And this was a little tricky. I had to use some round 1x1s and then place the 2x2 with the 2x2 modified plate with the rack, and then a 2x2, and then I had to use a plate on top, I'm sorry, those were 1x2 plates, and then a 2x2 plate on top to hold them together, because the reason being I couldn't just put a 1x2, this 1x2 straight onto here, because you can see we have these Technic pieces and they wouldn't allow for me to clip the ladder piece there. So the way I got around that was by using 1x1 rounds, and you know, they're not even on all the way, but at least, you know, it holds pretty good. And I thought it was a pretty good solution for the issue at hand. Okay, so here is the rest of the stuff that came with the gantry crane, and now I can tell you the set number because it's printed right onto the train. It's a set 7939. I don't know if it's called heavy haul train or cargo train, or, you know, it's one of those, but it's a pretty nice set. I like the design of this engine. It was a fun build. Here is our tractor trailer, and these obviously come off the bed with the gantry crane, and this could also be swapped out with this box car that the train came with, which I really enjoyed building this one. I thought it was a unique piece of rolling stock. Used a different style for, you know, we'll show you in a minute. So here's the box car, and these open just by popping these off, which I don't know how I feel about that. I think, you know, when you got these containers like this, they should have doors on them like they do in real life, which I may end up putting the doors on them. But yeah, check out this rolling stock. I thought it was cool that they used these pieces and popped the wheels right through these grates here. It's nice to see different ways, because eventually I'd like to maybe take apart a lot of my rolling stock and do some custom rolling stock. But you know, building it from the set the first time, you know, enough times helps you to see how things are done and get ideas for, you know, what you want to do for your own mocks. So this would also fit there too. So that's those two. Then we have the engine here. We have you know, we have the conductor on the rear end, and the train engineer on the front end. It can be driven from either side. There's nothing inside these doors. It's just the wiring for the power functions. These doors kind of tick me off a little bit. They're too loose. They don't really stay closed easily. You know, all I have to do is move it a little bit and they open up, and so that annoys me a little bit. But Other than that, I like the build. I think it was a nice fun build. Here we have another flat car with some little smart cars on them. This was a simple build, nothing really to it. I think it could be better. Here we have a tanker car, and I really like this one. I thought this was pretty well detailed for a tanker. So that's all for set 7939. Okay, so now we have set 60098. Now, here we have another train. It's pretty similar to the other one. You know, when seeing these, you know, on the boxes and stuff, I thought they were going to be exactly identical, but there's actually there's quite a few differences in the build. I mean, a lot of the build was the same, you know, pretty much, you know, the whole bottom part was the same, but I like, you know, the sides here are different. Here, let me get a little comparison of them both together. So as you can see, this one, you know, has the doors and these modified bricks, like grill-like bricks on the sides, and this one has a big flat piece on the side and has this nice rail. You know, if you had to get out of a train and walk over here, you know, you could stand a minifig here. The tops are a bit different. This one's full of a lot of grills and two little smokestacks here. This one actually has an electric antenna, and has 4 smokestacks here and less grills. Both of them conceal the power functions IR pretty good, which this one you can see, but they used this rounded brick here to match that, so it looks like it's, you know, part of the build, which I thought that was a pretty cool thing they did. I do plan on running these two in tandem like this because they are so similar. I thought they would look good running together. So let's get on to the rolling stock. So here you can see we got a coal car, and this set came with that other crane that I showed you in the beginning, where a truck can come up on the side of it and there's a ramp going right up to the track. They did come with some coal pieces, and this just lifts up like this to let the coal out. You can do that from both sides. Now you'll see I do have another coal car coming up in my next the next group of rolling stock, and I do have to say I like this one a lot better. I think this one's a lot more realistic, but this is a newer one. Here we have a flat car with a helicopter. Another pretty simple flat car build, but you know, I like how they got the chain, you know, keeping the prop from spinning, and there's also this thing here that holds the prop from spinning. And then we have our boxcar, which I do really like this boxcar. It's looks like your typical boxcar. You know, it's got the doors, and the doors open, and we have a pallet with I don't know if this is some sort of chemicals or what, but and it just sets in there. I just set it because, you know, if you clip it down, then you'll never get it out. The only thing I do have a problem with, though, is I think the floor in here needs to be raised, because I don't know if I haven't tried it yet, but I don't think I'm going to be able to get a forklift into those grooves. I mean, I know you can see them, but I think these studs here are going to stop me from getting a forklift underneath that skid. So I might have to raise the floor up there, or in there. And same thing on the other side. Doors on the other side. So, and that's it for set 60098. So next we have the rolling stock from set 3677. The engine I had already built. It's actually tandem with my engine I have on the track right now. It's the red. It's another red engine, but much different from the one we just saw. So here we have a service a service vehicle here. It appears that I mean, this doesn't have power to it, but this is supposed to be able to drive on its own. But I believe, you know, it goes on the main engine when it's going, you know, for a long distance. This is only meant to drive short distances for, you know, doing repairs of tracks and stuff. Now this has a little crane on the back here. And here we have, looks like some fuel and a couple crates. I could set that down there. Trying not to lose our other cars while we're demonstrating. But get that back there. Back on to train. We also have this other service vehicle, which is, you know, I'm sure if you live by railroad tracks, you've seen these before, driving up and down the tracks. And these are cool because they can drive on land, and then, you know, they just turn, you know, from a train crossing, they can turn onto the tracks, put these wheels down, and now they're driving down the tracks. So I always liked these little vehicles when I was a kid, seeing them drive on the tracks. So next here we have another coal car, which this is the one I was saying I'm not really in love with. I don't like this, you know, turning, dumping style like this. I don't know, maybe they do have them like that, but to me it just doesn't look, I don't know, you know, these bricks here stand out to me. I mean, it just doesn't look very good to me. But for now we're gonna have two coal cars. So here's the two side by side, and I don't know, you tell me. I think this one looks much cooler than that one. And last but not least, we have another flat car that's carrying this backhoe. And I guess the worker's going along for the ride because she's in the backhoe. So that's it. This is what I've been up to. I've just wanted to get my rolling stock done for the trains, because I wanted to get back to working on the train yard a little bit, and so that's pretty much it. I'll show you what we're going to be building next for the train yard, which is set here. Set 60169. It's the cargo terminal, and I think that'll go perfectly with the train yard. Now, my train yard is kind of tight, so we'll see if we're going to be able to fit all of these items in the train yard. If not, we might just have to set the stuff aside until we get a bigger space and be able to build a proper train yard. So, thank you for watching. This is Little Mac Bricks signing off. Build on, friends.